Hi, I'm Ryan Spence, and I help gamers live happier and healthier lives through YouTube and personal coaching. Today's episode, I'm going to talk about a topic that affects so many people, social anxiety. And I'm going to tell a little fun story about how I've tackled it just yesterday, actually. So first, let's define what social anxiety is. According to the Social Anxiety Institute, social anxiety is the fear of being judged and evaluated negatively by other people, leading to feelings of inadequacy, inferiority, self-consciousness, embarrassment, humiliation, and depression. So essentially, you have these really intense fears about something that's going to happen. You're worried about other people, what they think of you. And then what this definition actually doesn't tell you is it also produces some physical responses as well in the body. For me, my social anxiety has been around talking to strangers in public, or especially attractive women that maybe I'm interested in. So my physical responses are my chest gets a little tighter, gets harder to breathe. I have trouble thinking in the moment, and usually I just want that just to end. I feel super uncomfortable. It's like, okay, hey, hi, okay, bye. I'm gonna go far away now. Thank you, bye. So it sounds pretty intense, right? And so many people suffer from some form of social anxiety, whether it's talking to women or giving a presentation. Or talking to strangers in public. I think those are very common ones that people suffer from, but there's so many other ones. So I think this video will help you with recognizing your social anxiety and how you can tackle that, even though it's not the same as mine, potentially. So I'm going to tell a story from yesterday where I went to the farmer's market and how I tackled my social anxiety. So I'm walking to the farmer's market in downtown, and I see all these women leaving the farmer's market with a bouquet of flowers. And a friend once told me, a really cool thing you can do is just give a cute girl flowers. And I thought, this would be a really good random act of kindness to do, which is something I'm working on doing, just doing a random act of kindness for other people, like buying ice cream for people, or, in this case, buying flowers. So I think to myself, okay, well, I'm gonna do this just to spread a little bit more joy in the world, but then also it's gonna help me with tackling my fear of or my anxiety around talking to attractive women just in public that I don't know. So I go up to the farmer's market. I see the first flower shop, and naturally when there's an anxious situation, you just want to talk yourself out of it. And sure enough, at that first line, there was a huge line of people. And I thought, oh my gosh, okay, well, I'm not going to do this. This is, all right, big line, I'm not waiting around, this isn't worth it, etc. So I go through the farmer's market, and I happen to see a group of, fairly attractive women, and they had some of those flowers. And I just got the courage to say, well, hey, where'd you guys get those flowers from? And they said, well, we just got it right over there, just at the end of the tent where we're at. And I didn't see that flower shop. So I'm like, okay, well, thank you very much. And they were really kind. And that was kind of the first step of just talking to attractive women. But what helped me was I didn't have the thought in my mind that I needed something out of it, other than I just wanted to know where those flowers were. So I go to that flower shop, and there's no line. So I'm like, okay, well, am I really going to spend $10 on a bouquet of flowers for a stranger? Okay, well, I'm just going to do it. I said I was going to do this. I'm going to do this, which is how you build confidence in your life. You say you're going to do it, and you do it. So I buy the flowers, and then I'm like, holy crap. Okay, I just bought these bouquet of flowers. Is somebody going to take these flowers? Well, or people are just going to be like, no, you're a creeper. Get away with me, those flowers. I don't want to buy anything. I don't want whatever you're selling, whatever. And so what I did was I took a couple steps back. I started walking back towards the market from the vendor. And of course, it's Minneapolis, so there's just like beautiful women everywhere. Hashtag blessed. But so anyways, I start walking, and sure enough, like I take like 7 steps, and a cute girl by herself was walking by, and I thought, okay, I'm going to just give the flowers to her. I don't have to keep thinking about this. I'm just going to try it and give it to her. So I go walk up to her and say, hey, you look like you could use some flowers. Of course, I have a mask on, so it sounds like, hey, you look like you could use some flowers. Somehow she understood, I think just from me giving her the bouquet of flowers. She's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, enjoy. And that's all I said, and I just walked off. Now, it was really cool because it's not something I've really done that much before. The random acts of kindness and getting out of my comfort zone like that. But I didn't really savor it in the moment, but as I walked away, I thought, hey, I did this. This was awesome. And now I had this positive story to go back off of. Nothing bad happened. I just gave somebody flowers. In fact, something positive probably happened where I probably made her day just to get some flowers from a random stranger. So I can use that to go forward and continue to do these, random acts of kindness or get out of my comfort zone and, talk to women that I'm attracted to. So how can you deal with your social anxiety? Well, the first step would be, I encourage you to learn to meditate. Meditation is so powerful. And I'm going to read this quote before I really talk about meditation. But so the quote is from a Chinese philosopher. The quote is, "If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious," which is what we're talking about, "if you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present." So the reason why I read that quote is because meditation is all about learning how to live in the present moment. You are able to see your thoughts, you're able to see your feelings, and not associate yourself with them. It's like you see cars going by, that's a thought, okay, that's a thought. That isn't me, that's just a car. That's just a thought, that's just a car driving by, I see it. It's caused by something. Okay, cool, I see it. I don't have to associate myself with it. So meditation helps so much. It also helps from a physiological standpoint because in those situations where you're anxious, like I mentioned in my physiological responses, my chest tightens up, it gets harder to breathe. My mind just stops thinking. It just like trying to figure out, well, how the heck do I get out of this anxious situation? Which is our natural body response from being a caveman and running from being anxious of like tigers coming after us and predators. So. But anyways, so learning to meditate can kind of help you take control of your thoughts and your feelings in those moments. So I highly recommend it. Number 2 would be to be aware of your social anxiety and what triggers it. So for me, I knew my social anxiety is around talking to strangers, especially attractive women. And so when I'm aware of that, I know that I'm going to see those thoughts of myself talking myself out of it. What if I'm just like, okay, no, I don't do this because I'm shy, or I don't do this for whatever reason. Now I can see the thoughts and say, okay, well, I know this is something that makes me very nervous, makes me very anxious. I know it's really important for me to try to do this random act of kindness to help get some positive reinforcement on it. So since I'm aware of it, I can not associate myself with those thoughts of, okay, I can do this. I just need to talk myself into it a little bit more and recognize the triggers that know that I'm actually going to be okay. I'm not getting eaten by a saber-toothed tiger in the wild. I'm just giving flowers to somebody, or I'm striking up a conversation with a random stranger. Nothing seriously horrible is going to happen. And finally, number 3 is get to the root cause, if you can, of your social anxiety. You can do this through counseling, journaling, life coaching. Figure out what is causing that social anxiety trigger. So I've worked with counselors in the past. I've worked with the life coaches. I read lots and lots of self-help books to learn a lot more about myself and really about people in general, how we respond in situations like this. So for me, one of the biggest moments, I think there's several, but one of the biggest moments that led to my anxiety with talking to attractive women stems all the way back from middle school. So I remember back in middle school, feel free to tease me about this too. This is all fun. It's totally great. I can laugh at it. But so I remember from a friend was saying, "Oh, this girl really likes you," and I'm like, "Holy crap, she's pretty attractive." And I haven't really asked that a lot of girls. And this is like 7th or 8th grade. I wasn't very confident with women or really myself. So I mustered up this courage that, I'm going to ask this girl out. And I go up to her at her locker, and I'm just sweating, and I'm nervous, and I'm stuttering, and trying to spit out, "Hey, you want to go out with me?" Something like that. And she's just horrified, of course, because she's reading all my negative energy, all my nervousness in that moment, which, completely understandable on her part. Think about any time you've been approached by somebody and they're anxious and nervous. You feel it, and you just feel bad for them, and you just want to get out of that situation. So naturally, that's what happened. She said no. So I remember having that scenario, and I'm 36 now. That was, probably 20 plus years ago. So it's something that's still kind of ingrained in my subconscious. And so that's something where I've had to associate with myself that or reprogram myself that, hey, just because you asked out this girl and she wasn't interested, it could have been for various reasons. Probably a little bit because of my anxiousness and the vibe that I was giving off was probably part of it, but it's hard to really know unless you're really in that situation, right? I ask her, and I'm not gonna confront her with that 20 plus years later, but so I associated that I was asking her out wrong, or that I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to asking out women, or I wasn't attractive. There were so many thoughts and negative feelings that happened in that moment that then ingrained myself in my subconscious because I didn't see those thoughts. I just took that, what happened in the moment, as, well, that's the truth, that's the meaning, that's what's wrong with me, that goes in my subconscious. And then I'm going to live the rest of my life with those subconscious beliefs, those limiting beliefs, until I reprogram those, or until I reflect on those and fix the root cause and reprogram those. So to sum up this video, what you can do to help with your social anxiety is meditate. Start seeing your thoughts, start slowing down your heart rate, start slowing down your thoughts and your feelings, and be more aware of them. Number 2 is be aware of your social anxiety. What triggers it? What feelings do you have with it? What thoughts do you have with it? And I highly encourage you to journal on those things, especially after a fresh experience. So if you go and you have you fear giving a speech, go after you do that, try to write down immediately what did it feel like physically? What were those thoughts that were in your head? And then that's especially going to help you with step 3, which is understand the root cause. Take some time to read up on your specific social anxiety. So many people suffer from it, or work with a life coach or a counselor on it. That's going to be really helpful to work on those things. But conquering through our social anxiety is going to allow us to live a much happier and healthier life. So I definitely encourage you guys to take the time to reflect on it. So I hope you found value in today's video. I want you guys to comment below with what makes you guys anxious. We all have things that make us anxious. Please submit at least one in the comments, and I'd be happy to actually do a video if there's some main themes about it, because we all have some sort of anxiety. It's okay. We're human. It's part of our body. Shout it out. I love to hear about it. So with that, guys, stay awesome, and I love you.